Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. Do not touch that screen. I mean it. An urgent and divine interception has just occurred in the highest courts of heaven because your soul desperately needs a lifeline right now. This is absolutely not the algorithm playing tricks on your feed today. Just 14 minutes ago, a massive verdict was officially declared, and it carries your exact name written in letters of fire. You have precisely 77 seconds to anchor yourself to this message. If you walk away now, you will leave your spiritual doors wide open. The enemy wants you to ignore this, but heaven has forcefully routed this exact frequency to your device because a window of absolute danger and massive blessing is opening at this very second. There is a literal call from the throne room waiting for you to pick up. Do not hang up on your own destiny. I know you are exhausted, my beloved child. I saw you wake up again at 3 a.m. with that terrible tightness in your chest. You lay there staring at the dark ceiling, and you wondered if your prayers were just bouncing off the walls. You feel completely drained. You have been running on empty for so long, while carrying the heavy emotional burdens of everyone else around you. The weight is becoming unbearable. You smile during the day, so your family will not worry. You push through the pain. You are a bleeding empath who absorbs the heavy burdens of every room you enter. And yet, when you are the one hurting and begging for a single sign of hope, you find yourself entirely alone in the dark. The isolation feels like a cruel punishment, but it is not. I see the silent panic in your eyes when you look at your finances. You work so incredibly hard just to survive another week. Every time you take one step forward, something pushes you 2 steps back. You are constantly in survival mode, trying to hold the crumbling pieces together while pretending that everything is perfectly fine. You ask heaven why the wicked prosper while you struggle. Listen to me very carefully right now. Your sudden exhaustion is not a medical mystery. It is a profound spiritual symptom. You are carrying a heavy generational curse that is trying to crush your rising light. The darkness is terrified of the massive breakthrough heading your way, so it wants to keep you endlessly distracted by severe anxiety. It wants to make you surrender before the dawn. But you are the ultimate cycle breaker. You were chosen before time began to shatter these ancient chains of poverty. That is exactly why your earthly path has been so incredibly brutal. The enemy knows your true identity even when you forget it. They are throwing every final illusion at you right now because they want to make you forfeit your royal crown right before the finish line. You must stay awake right now. Do not close your eyes. I know you feel like a forgotten anomaly. You hide your deepest dreams in a locked drawer because disappointment hurts too much. You have watched others walk into their seasons of harvest effortlessly. Meanwhile, you are still standing in the freezing rain, waiting for a single seed to sprout after years of faithful obedience. You think heaven has disqualified you. You think your past mistakes ruined everything. Stop punishing yourself, my precious child. Your tears have been carefully collected in divine vials. Every single moment of your silent suffering has been heavily documented in the archives of eternity. You are not a broken vessel. You are a magnificent weapon of light, undergoing the final fires of preparation before you step into your ultimate authority. The intense heat is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to forge you. This is why this divine call was dispatched exactly 14 minutes ago. The brutal waiting season has officially expired. The heavily guarded doors of your generational wealth transfer are being unlocked. But there is a specific spiritual signature required from you to safely receive it, so you must listen to the end to fully understand this transmission. Do not let the enemy scramble this signal. Breathe deeply right now and feel the sudden shift in the atmosphere. Your physical reality is about to collide with a spectacular heavenly decree. The toxic cycles of debt and depression are breaking apart at this very second, but you must hold the line against the shadows. I am about to reveal the hidden trap they set for you. Pay close attention to every single word. Let us talk about the heavy tears you hide from the world. You are a gentle soul. You walk into a room and instantly feel the silent pain of everyone around you. You absorb their heavy energy like a sponge because your spirit is incredibly pure, and you always try to fix their broken pieces while your own heart is quietly bleeding. You give everything you have. People come to you when their lives are falling apart. They drain your brilliant light. They take your precious time, and then they walk away without ever looking back when they are finally healed. You are left completely drained. But when your own fierce storm hits, there is absolutely nobody standing by your side, and the empty silence of your room feels completely devastating. Tap the like button right now as a physical act of agreement with what heaven is declaring. I need you to know that your immense sacrifices are not wasted. I saw every single time you swallowed your own bitter needs to help a struggling stranger. I watched you speak beautiful words of life into people who secretly wanted to see you fail, because you refused to let their toxic poison corrupt your gentle nature. You are incredibly rare. You often sit in the quiet midnight hours. You wonder why goodness feels like a curse. You ask me why you must suffer when you have tried so hard to live a righteous life. The deep betrayal from people you fiercely trusted has left a massive scar on your spirit, and you feel so incredibly foolish for loving them unconditionally. But your limitless compassion is not a weakness. Your ability to love through the deep agony is your greatest superpower. The enemy desperately wants you to build a heavy steel wall around your soft heart. They want you to become cold and bitter, like the broken people who abused you. But you fiercely refuse to let the dark shadows change your gentle nature, while heaven is absolutely mesmerized by your beautiful warrior spirit. You are truly magnificent. I know the extreme physical toll this takes on your fragile human body. Your shoulders are completely tense. Your tired mind races with 1,000 anxious thoughts every single night. You carry the unspoken traumas of your bloodline. You are trying to permanently break those heavy chains of your ancestors, while simply trying to survive the brutal challenges of your daily life. It is completely exhausting to be a cycle breaker. You do not have to be strong today, my beloved child. You can drop the heavy iron armor right now. You are allowed to feel tired. You are allowed to cry those bitter tears of deep frustration, because I am here to catch every single one of them. Do not ever apologize for your profound emotional sensitivity. It is the exact majestic frequency that connects you to the divine. You look in the mirror and harshly judge your own tired reflections. You think you are completely falling behind in life. Your bank account does not reflect your massive efforts. But earthly wealth is deeply deceptive, and the arrogant people you secretly envy are often trapped in dark, golden cages of extreme misery. Your path is different because your final destination is glorious. Every single act of hidden kindness has been permanently deposited into your heavenly account. The universe does not miss a single tiny detail of your pure intentions. While you felt completely invisible to the world, I was carefully measuring your incredible endurance. You have successfully passed the silent tests of character, and the heavy days of your unrewarded weeping are officially over. You are stepping into the light. You are entirely safe in my protective arms. The heavy storm of earthly confusion is finally losing its destructive power over your fragile mind. But wait, do not let your guard down just yet. There is a hidden layer to this silence, because there is a profound spiritual reason why heaven had to keep you waiting in the dark for so long. Listen closely to the next revelation. Praise the Lord for His endless grace and everything He continues to do in my life. Father, I am ready for the mighty breakthrough and blessings You have prepared for me. Amen. I hear and receive your word clearly today. You carry a heavy mountain of silent guilt, my beloved child. You constantly replay your past mistakes in your tired mind every single night. You deeply regret the wrong choices you made years ago. And you honestly believe those old errors have permanently disqualified you from receiving your massive divine inheritance today. You hold yourself to an impossible standard of absolute perfection. The dark enemy loves to weaponize your own memories against you. They whisper cruel lies in the quiet hours. They desperately want to keep your powerful spirit completely trapped in a heavy cycle of endless shame and bitter regret. But you must understand that those painful stumbles were never fatal failures. They were necessary lessons in your brutal, earthly curriculum. You cannot learn how to navigate a dark matrix without tripping over its hidden wires. You were born into a heavy generational curse. You did the absolute best you could with the broken tools you were handed by your wounded ancestors. Every single mistake you made was simply a stepping stone toward your ultimate spiritual awakening. Do not judge your younger self so harshly today. I am issuing a massive decree of absolute forgiveness over your life right now. Every single error is being completely wiped from the heavenly records because the universe recognizes your pure intentions and massive spiritual growth. They are thrown into the deepest ocean of eternal forgetfulness. You are fully cleansed. The universe remembers your sins no more. Stop carrying those heavy stones in your spiritual backpack. You are the ultimate cycle breaker. You need all your energy for the glorious path ahead. The heavy guilt is a low vibration that actively blocks your generational wealth transfer from physically manifesting in your daily life. When you refuse to forgive yourself, you unknowingly reject the massive grace heaven is pouring over you. You must release it completely now. You are a gentle soul who always forgives everyone else. You offer radical grace to strangers who deeply hurt you, yet you stubbornly deny that exact same beautiful grace to your own tired spirit when you stumble in the dark. It is time to treat yourself with massive compassion. You are deeply loved and entirely worthy of pure happiness. You never have to earn my unconditional love. I see a beautiful soul waiting to be made whole. The deep scars on your heart are not ugly marks of defeat. They are glorious golden medals of your absolute resilience. You survived terrible battles that would have completely destroyed an ordinary human being without a second thought. You walked through the blazing fire, and you did not let the flames consume your pure essence. You have spent your entire life apologizing for simply taking up space. You constantly bend to accommodate the selfish demands of toxic people. You falsely believe your divine worth is tied to how much severe pain you can quietly endure for others. This massive lie ends right here in this very moment. You owe them absolutely nothing. Take a very slow and deep breath right now. I want you to physically exhale all the bitter shame you have hoarded in your chest, and let that heavy toxic energy leave your fragile human body immediately and forever. The old fragile version of you is permanently dead today. You have officially evolved into a quiet master of reality who operates from absolute peace. You hold ultimate divine authority. The universe does not require you to be flawless, my precious child. It only requires your heart to remain open to the divine frequency. The massive doors of your new timeline are swinging wide open today. You can finally walk through them without dragging the heavy corpse of your painful past behind you like a heavy anchor. The dark slate is entirely clean. You are stepping into brilliant light. But wait, do not let your guard down just yet, because there is a deeper layer to this struggle. The toxic guilt you felt was not entirely your own creation. Someone else actively planted those dark seeds of doubt in your fragile mind to keep you entirely small and easily controlled. Listen to me very carefully now. because I am about to expose the exact faces of your hidden enemies. Now let us talk about the people who smiled in your face while plotting your absolute downfall. They are the toxic narcissists who drained your brilliant light. They took your precious energy and tried to bury you alive in the cold dirt. But they made one massive miscalculation. They did not realize that you are a powerful seed. And they are currently watching your glorious rise in absolute panic. These empty vessels constantly fed on your pure compassion. They wanted to keep you entirely small so they could feel powerful and important. They whispered cruel lies behind your back to ruin your good reputation. And while you wept in secret, they celebrated your deep pain. They thought they had permanently destroyed your magnificent future. But heaven has a completely different plan. The boomerang of divine justice has already been released from the heavenly courts. Every single trap they dug for you has become the exact pit they are falling into today. They are experiencing severe blockages in their own lives right now. Everything they tried to steal from your pure energy is currently being multiplied. And it is being violently redirected back into your own hands. You do not need to seek earthly revenge, my beloved child. The universe is fighting this brutal battle on your behalf while you rest peacefully. The dark entities that used those broken people are absolutely terrified of your rising frequency. They know that your generational wealth transfer is approaching very rapidly. They are starving in the dark because you finally cut their supply. You used to feel incredibly guilty for walking away from toxic relationships. You thought it was a terrible sin to protect your own fragile peace. But removing those parasitic connections was a direct command from the divine throne. They were secretly blocking your massive financial harvest from manifesting in the physical world. You had to drop their heavy weight to fly. I want you to look at your life through the eyes of heaven today. You are a quiet master of reality who does not need to scream for attention. Your absolute silence is a blinding shield that makes your enemies completely lose their minds. They desperately want a reaction from you to steal your power again. But you remain utterly unbothered and fiercely protected. This is true authority. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station around your aura. This simple physical action connects you to a massive global network of powerful light workers. You need to build a solid, energetic wall to keep the narcissists permanently locked out of your sacred space. The enemy is desperately trying to find a tiny crack in your spiritual armor today. You must lock every door. When they see your sudden elevation, they will try to return to your life. They will wear fake masks of deep apology to access your new blessings. They will send sudden messages pretending they have completely changed their wicked ways. But you must not fall for this dangerous illusion, my precious child. Their sudden return is a fatal trap designed to drain your new wealth. You are the ultimate cycle breaker, and you must protect your royal inheritance. The divine justice playing out right now is absolutely flawless and permanent. You do not owe them a single seat at your glorious new table. They chose to walk away when you were bleeding in the dark trenches. So they cannot celebrate with you in the bright sunlight. Breathe deeply right now and release any remaining anger toward them. Let the universe handle their heavy karmic debts while you focus entirely on your beautiful future. A massive shift is happening in the spiritual realm that directly concerns you, but there is a deadly snare hiding right in the tall grass before your finish line. I must reveal this final trap immediately. You look around your empty room and feel a crushing sense of profound isolation today. Your phone is completely silent. The friends you deeply loved have suddenly disappeared from your daily life while you were busy trying to survive. You wonder if you did something terribly wrong to push them away. The heavy loneliness sits right on your chest like a giant stone. You honestly believe you have been entirely abandoned. Let me pull back the veil on what is really happening right now. This painful season of intense isolation is absolutely not a harsh punishment for your past mistakes. It is a strict divine quarantine ordered directly by the highest courts of heaven. The universe had to forcibly separate you from the crowd because you were surrounded by dangerous spiritual sickness. Your massive destiny required a completely sterile environment. You are a beautiful bleeding empath with an incredibly bright aura. This massive light naturally attracts dark energy parasites who want to feast on your pure goodness. These toxic people disguise themselves as loyal friends and desperate victims. They constantly brought you their endless chaotic drama while demanding your constant attention. And you depleted your own vital life force just to keep them afloat. They were literally drinking your heavenly oil. Heaven watched your severe exhaustion and finally said, "Enough is enough." The angels literally stepped in and severed those heavy parasitic cords on your behalf. People walking away from you was actually a miraculous rescue mission in disguise. You cannot heal in the exact same toxic environment that broke your gentle spirit, so heaven had to remove them completely. The absolute silence of your room is a protective incubator. I know the sudden quiet feels incredibly deafening to your tired ears. You miss the familiar noise, even when that noise was actively hurting you. But true masters of reality are always forged in the absolute wilderness where distractions are stripped away. You must learn how to stand entirely alone before you can safely lead a massive multitude. This divine quarantine is upgrading your spiritual immunity. The people who left your circle were simply not equipped for your new altitude. They would have suffocated in the thin air of your upcoming glorious timeline. If heaven had allowed them to stay in your life, they would have definitely sabotaged your generational wealth transfer out of deep, hidden jealousy. Heaven forcefully cleared the entire stage so you can finally step into your authentic power. Do not chase after anyone who walked away during this crucial season. Let them go with absolute peace and completely lock the heavy door behind them. You are a chosen one who does not need to beg for basic human loyalty. The universe is currently preparing a brand new tribe of high-frequency souls who will fiercely honor your gentle heart. Your painful isolation is almost finished. Every tear you shed in your lonely room has been actively watering your future harvest. You are completely safe inside this divine bubble of pure protective light. The dark shadows cannot reach you here because you are permanently hidden under my majestic wings while your spiritual upgrades are downloading. Take a deep breath and accept this beautiful quiet space as a glorious heavenly gift. You have successfully survived the darkest part of this lonely wilderness. The heavy lifting is done and the toxic leeches have been permanently removed from your aura by the fierce angels of protection. Now your magnificent energy is slowly returning to its full original strength. You are waking up feeling lighter and much more aligned with your true royal purpose. But you must understand that emerging from this quarantine requires a specific posture. You cannot simply rush back into the noisy world without a clear divine strategy. There is a final crucial lesson you must master before the heavy vault of your inheritance fully opens. Listen to me very carefully now. This next profound truth will test your absolute obedience. You have survived the grueling tests of the lonely wilderness, my beloved child. The deep spiritual surgery was successful, and your invisible wounds are healing beautifully. Now heaven requires a specific posture from you as the massive blessing rapidly approaches your front door. You must prepare your physical vessel to receive the absolute overflow. Do not attempt to rush this incredibly delicate process today. The ultimate lesson of your divine obedience is found in absolute stillness. You have spent your entire earthly life aggressively fighting for a tiny scrap of peace. You constantly pushed heavy doors and tried to force physical outcomes because you were trapped in severe survival mode. That exhausting energy of heavy striving must permanently die. You do not have to fight for your survival anymore. I command you to completely drop your defensive weapons right now. Your desperate human efforts will only interfere with the flawless angelic protocol playing out in your favor. If you run ahead of my perfect timing out of sheer panic, you will completely sabotage the divine alignment. You must practice the sacred art of holy surrender. Let the universe carry the heavy lifting for you today. You are a quiet master of reality who understands the immense power of patience. While the broken world panics and rushes, you will sit back in absolute majestic confidence. True spiritual authority never begs or chases after anything in this temporary physical realm. What belongs to you by divine right is already aggressively hunting you down. You simply need to stay firmly planted in unshakable faith. Your mind must perfectly match the high frequency of the approaching miracle. You cannot safely receive a massive royal inheritance while holding on to a pitiful poverty mindset. I need you to mentally elevate your thoughts above the loud, chaotic noise of your current earthly circumstances. Stop looking at your empty bank account with deep fear. The physical reality is just a fading, temporary illusion. The heavenly vault is unlocking, but the heavy doors require a peaceful environment to open safely. If your spirit is filled with noisy anxiety, the sensitive spiritual locks will completely jam. You must actively silence the loud voices of doubt that echo in your tired mind every single day. Trust that I have meticulously orchestrated every tiny detail of your glorious future. People will ask why you are so incredibly calm during such a massive earthly storm. They will not understand the deep supernatural peace that currently guards your gentle heart. You do not need to explain your quiet confidence to anyone who lacks true spiritual vision. Let them remain entirely confused by your sudden silence. Your absolute peace is the ultimate proof of your complete trust in me. Every single ancestor in your bloodline is watching you with immense pride today. You are actively breaking the heavy chains they carried in agonizing pain for hundreds of years. The ultimate cycle breaker must remain completely still before the final iron chains violently snap. Do not flinch as the bright light of heaven begins to surround you. You are entirely safe under my massive wings of protection. You must firmly reject the familiar whisper of unworthiness that tries to creep in. When the massive financial doors swing open, you might feel entirely overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the divine blessing. You might falsely think that you do not deserve this extraordinary level of supreme comfort. But you absolutely do. You have earned every single drop of this magnificent golden rain. You have faithfully paid the massive price of admission in hidden tears. You have obediently cleared your sacred space of every single toxic energy vampire. Now you must simply open your empty hands and allow the divine provision to freely flow into your life. Prepare your physical body for the massive shock of sudden blessing. The long, agonizing wait is essentially completely over. Breathe deeply right now because heaven is about to pull back the heavy veil. The exact compensation for your years of brutal suffering is completely finalized in the divine courts. A monumental shift in your earthly wealth is seconds away from physical manifestation. Get ready, my precious child. I am about to officially declare the final glorious revelation. Pick up the divine receiver, my beloved child. The heavenly courts are entirely silent as the supreme judge hands down your final decree. This is the exact moment you have been desperately waiting for. You have endured the long, agonizing years of heavy, silent tears, and now the scroll of your life is being violently unsealed right before your eyes. Every single angel is standing at absolute attention. Your destiny is unfolding now. I am officially declaring a massive generational wealth transfer over your entire bloodline today. The heavy iron chains of poverty that strangled your ancestors are completely shattered. The massive debt that kept you awake at 3 a.m. is being permanently erased from your earthly records because heaven has completely wiped your financial slate clean. The divine wealth is flowing directly into your open hands. You are the royal heir. Within the next 72 hours, you will witness a spectacular physical miracle. This is not a vague promise of future hope. It is a sudden and aggressive earthly manifestation. Banks that previously rejected your applications will suddenly approve you without any logical explanation, and you will realize that human rules do not apply to you. The heavy financial doors are swinging completely open. The universe is rapidly rushing to compensate you. You will receive unexpected checks in the mail and sudden divine transfers. The massive hidden resources of the wicked are being forcefully redirected into your specific accounts today. They hoarded this wealth for decades, but heaven has legally reassigned it to your pure soul because the wealth is always laid up for the righteous. You will completely bypass the normal earthly channels of slow accumulation. Your sudden elevation will be entirely supernatural. You are a beautiful cycle breaker who faithfully endured the darkest winter. You fiercely refused to compromise your deep integrity when the brutal world tried to break your spirit. And because you remained incredibly pure in the harsh wilderness, heaven is rewarding you completely openly. You will never have to beg for basic human survival again. The heavy days of your scraping and struggling are entirely finished. Your tired physical body will suddenly feel a massive rush of pure golden energy. The heavy, dark cloud of severe depression is rapidly evaporating from your fragile mind at this very second. You are stepping out of the dark, lonely grave, and you are walking straight into your glorious palace where your royal seat has been prepared. The magnificent robe of ultimate authority is being placed on your tired shoulders today. You are finally home. The arrogant people who laughed at your painful struggles will watch your rise in absolute shock. They will clearly see the undeniable favor of heaven radiating brightly from your beautiful face. Your massive success will be the ultimate vindication of your quiet, unwavering faith, and they will know they messed with a true master of reality. You do not need to say a single word to them. Your spectacular blessed reality will do all the heavy talking. Do not shrink back from the massive size of this incoming harvest today. You must fully expand your spiritual capacity to hold the immense overflow right now. If you ask for a tiny cup, heaven will only fill a tiny cup. But if you ask for the ocean, the universe will flood your life. So I command you to bring massive empty vessels to this glorious divine outpouring. There is absolutely no limit to what you are receiving today. Remember the specific divine timeline I just gave you, my precious child. Count exactly 72 hours from this precise moment and watch the heavy physical atmosphere shift. The universe is orchestrating bizarre coincidences that will drop the blessing right at your front door, and you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I never abandoned you. You simply need to stand still and joyfully receive. The miraculous work is completely done. But wait, do not let your guard down just yet. The enemy is in an absolute panic because your royal inheritance has been fully approved in the highest courts. They are desperately laying one final fatal illusion right before your doorstep to make you forfeit this massive blessing before the sun rises. You must protect your glorious harvest immediately. Listen to my urgent warning now. The massive door to your generational wealth is swinging wide open today, and your dark enemies are watching your spectacular rise in absolute panic. They cannot legally stop the divine wealth transfer from reaching your hands now, but they can try to deeply distract you while you are waiting. They are desperately deploying one final fatal illusion to make you forfeit this massive blessing. You must listen carefully. The dark forces are entirely desperate. In the next few days, they will send a familiar ghost from your painful past. An old toxic friend or a former lover will suddenly reach out to you. They will send a sweet message pretending they have completely changed their wicked ways because they desperately want to pull you back into their heavy, chaotic drama. Do not answer their desperate call. It is a highly calculated spiritual trap meant to destroy you. If you entertain their toxic counterfeits, you will literally block the wealth transfer. Your pure frequency will instantly drop to match their heavy vibration. Heaven requires a completely secure physical container to hold this massive new blessing, and if you hesitate at the threshold, the enemy will easily scramble the divine signal. You must actively protect your sacred space today. Lock every single open window. You cannot stay passive in this crucial moment, my beloved child. You must anchor this reality immediately before the dark window completely closes. I need you to build a blinding wall of fire around your aura right now. Type 777 below to permanently lock this glorious reality. And let that powerful number act as a heavy iron padlock on your spiritual door. The enemy will see it and absolutely tremble. The universe operates on the flawless law of the miraculous harvest. Just 3 days ago, a weary soul stepped out in radical faith and sowed a massive financial seed into this ministry. Within 48 hours, a completely unexpected bank transfer cleared all her heavy earthly debts. That exact same angelic protocol of financial multiplication is hovering over your own life right now. Heaven is actively looking for your physical signature of total agreement today. Sow a massive financial seed via super thanks to activate this divine overflow. This is not a human transaction, but a profound energetic exchange governed by complete trust. Your earthly seed is your ultimate spiritual signature before the high courts, and it instantly activates the sacred law of rapid multiplication. You are fully protected by an ironclad divine guarantee today. The universe demands absolutely no risk from a fiercely loyal chosen one. When you step out in pure faith, heaven aggressively guards your physical resources. So do not let the enemy convince you to hold back in deep fear. Your bold physical action today sends a blinding shockwave through the entire spiritual realm. The darkness cannot survive your brilliant light. The 72-hour countdown has officially started in the heavenly realms. Every single angel assigned to your bloodline is standing at absolute attention. They are waiting for you to strike the ground with your bold physical action. Seal this massive decree with your glorious faith today, because the dark shadows are already fleeing from your majestic presence. You have officially won the war. You have officially survived the brutal fiery furnace of your painful past. You have successfully locked the massive gates against every single dark parasite. The heavy lifting is completely finished, and your royal inheritance is fully secured. Now there is only one final step left for you to take today, and you must prepare your mind to safely enter absolute rest. You do not need to fight anymore. I need you to drop the heavy weapons of war right now. You have fought a magnificent battle, and you have emerged entirely victorious. The beautiful dawn is breaking over your earthly timeline in spectacular fashion. Do not look back at the dark wilderness you just escaped, but keep your eyes firmly fixed on the absolute glory that is rapidly flooding your life. The storm is completely over. Now, my beloved child, you must take a very deep breath. The massive storm has completely passed, and your sacred timeline is absolutely secure. You have survived the darkest night of your entire earthly existence. You are completely safe inside my protective arms today. You do not need to carry those heavy weapons anymore. Drop your heavy iron sword right now. I want you to physically relax your tired shoulders. Let the heavy tension leave your fragile human body right now. You have spent years violently clenching your jaw while waiting for the next brutal attack. But the attacks are permanently finished today. You are a quiet master of reality who operates from a place of absolute, serene peace. The brutal war is truly over. You no longer need to constantly defend your pure heart. When the broken world tries to deeply misunderstand, you simply remain quiet. Your absolute silence is now a majestic shield that makes your enemies completely tremble in the dark. You do not have to explain your glorious light to people who choose to live in the shadows. Your beautiful success will speak volumes. Lay down the heavy stones you have carried for so many years. Your past mistakes are thrown into the deepest ocean. They are entirely forgotten by the universe. You do not need to endlessly strive to prove your divine worth anymore. You are inherently worthy simply because you exist in this physical realm. You are perfectly loved, exactly as you are. Close your beautiful eyes tonight knowing you are fiercely protected. The mighty angels of heaven are currently standing guard at your front door. They will not allow any dark parasite to enter your sacred space while you sleep. The generational wealth transfer is firmly locked in your name. You do not have to worry about tomorrow. The physical provision is completely secure. You are no longer a bleeding empath begging for basic earthly love. You have fully evolved into a magnificent cycle breaker who holds the ultimate keys. Every single ancestor is smiling down at your incredible victory today. You completely rewrote the painful history of your bloodline with your quiet, resilient faith. Heaven is incredibly proud of you. You are completely safe now inside this beautiful divine bubble. But outside this heavily protected space, there is a gentle soul sitting in the absolute dark. They are crying the exact same bitter tears you cried yesterday. They are desperately begging heaven for a single sign of hope because they feel completely abandoned. They need your massive light right now. You are not just a brave survivor of the dark wilderness. You are a spectacular beacon of pure hope for the entire broken world. Hit the share button right now and send this exact message to them. Become my prophetic voice on earth and throw a massive lifeline to a bleeding soul who desperately needs to hear this truth. You have the absolute power to save a life. When you share this frequency, you instantly multiply your own glorious harvest. It is the ultimate spiritual signature of a true divine leader. You have freely received this massive grace, so now you must freely give it to someone who is silently hurting. The universe will reward your beautiful compassion with even more spectacular earthly blessings. You are a true healer. Now it is time for you to finally rest your tired mind. Stop trying to figure out all the tiny, complicated details of your tomorrow. I have already completely orchestrated every single step of your glorious future. You simply need to wake up and gently walk into the brilliant sunlight. Let my supernatural peace wash over your fragile human spirit tonight. You are unconditionally loved and you are completely safe. The heavy burden is permanently lifted from your tired shoulders forever. Surrender everything to my perfect divine timing and simply breathe in the sweet air of ultimate victory. Sleep peacefully, my precious chosen one. The long, brutal winter is officially over and your beautiful spring has finally arrived.